Hey everybody, welcome back. OJ here. Today I'm drawing Lake Street. For those of you not in Chicago, Lake Street is an iconic street that runs below the train tracks. While there are several streets around the city that run below the train tracks, Lake Street is one that runs straight for miles and miles and miles. At certain parts, the tracks and the pillars are wide. Certain spots, like where I'm drawing, the pillars are skinnier. The 2 lanes of traffic below it, and then on the outside of the pillars will be parking. Or recently they've eliminated a lot of that parking and turned it into bike paths. I'm working on a dark green paper today, and stylistically that was not my first choice, but I was running out of paper options, of color options, and when I was looking at what I was drawing, you know, there's a lot of yellow in the pillars and the structures of the train track. So my first thought was, what do I got that's referencing yellow? To be honest, none of them actually felt like they would be helping this image in any particular way. So I chose this color green out of having limited options in the first place, but also thinking I have gold ink. I could use that for the yellow of the bridges. Green and gold work really well together. By choosing this green, it's going to stylize it overall in the first place. This is more of an afterthought than a stylistic choice from the beginning, but it is the green line that runs above Lake Street. The paper color is a subtle nod to the train line. Dark green paper, black line work and shadows. Speaking of shadows, everything holding the train tracks together creates incredible shadows. Sometimes I exclude shadows, sometimes I just decide not to draw them, sometimes I block them in and create large dark areas to make the image a bit more dynamic. Part of what I'm aiming to do with this drawing is to capture a bit of the patterns that the shadows are making as well. The main structures in this image are the train tracks above head and then the shadows that they create. This spot was fresh on my mind. I recently filmed some bicycle stuff down there for the dark matter drop. Competition Orange. It's my first bag art with dark matter. I'm excited for it to be out in the world. More where that came from. A simple drawing technique that I want to touch on in this video, that I need to touch on in this video, is 1-point perspective. A lot of the drawings that I do, I have some type of perspective going on, whether it's 1 point, 2 point, or beyond. This particular image is 1-point perspective, almost as if we're looking down a tunnel. The point is going to be almost in the center of the paper. Everything is going to be going backwards in space towards this point. The edges of the trains, the sidewalk, our entire perspective is looking straight down that tunnel. You could make a dot and then use a ruler, get all your lines super straight. That's how people typically learn. I've seen other internet tricks with using push pins and a rubber band. Everything starts to deteriorate and blend together the farther back we go. The closer we are, the more detail, the more crisp, the more sharp all these details are going to be. I made a point to only use the gold in the structure of the green line. That way the bridge itself stands out from the background and pops off of everything else. I'm not using any rulers today. I'm just simply going to be freehand drawing, trying to make a lot of these lines as straight as possible. You know, part of what I think is incredible about drawings that people do is that they are imperfect. They have a bit of the human touch, and even if I were using a straight edge, even if I were using a ruler, there still would be elements of that human touch. If I wanted to see something completely straight, I would have a computer do it. A computer can make things a lot more perfect than a human can. AI could render a picture super clean in 2 seconds, could render a bunch of images super clean in 2 seconds. Part of what I like about artwork is seeing the individual artist's perception of it, the way that they stylize things. No matter how clean a human is trying to draw something, there are going to be imperfections, from the way the eye perceives it, to the way the hand perceives that message from the brain, to the way the paper perceives that message from the hand. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. Lake Street to the world. Thank you for watching as usual. And you already know there's going to be one coming next week. I'm OJ, Juice Loops Live. Thank you. Bye. Yep. Classic, iconic, legendary Lake Street, downtown to the west side, underneath the green line all the way, miles and miles out west. I'm amazed there aren't more cars crashing into these pillars, especially in some of the skinnier spots.